I did something that I would usually not do. I watched Isekai. Now for me, watching Isekai is a little bit like taking a number 2 at a gas station restroom. I would just rather avoid it. But how could you say that? There are so many good Isekai out there. I mean, there is ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, ReZero Season 2. Yes, I know, Isekai is very popular. Still, I mean, it has to be, right? There must be a reason why they're still making so many of them. Anyway, so I watched a lot of Isekai recently, and I really mean a lot. I watched like 10? I mean, okay, I didn't watch all of them completely, but that's still a lot, you know? Okay, maybe I dropped most of them after like 2 episodes, but that's besides the point. Because there's one Isekai that I just couldn't stop watching. And to this day, I'm not quite sure why. But before we get into that, let's talk about some of the other Isekai that came out recently that I watched. We got an Isekai that reminds us of the dangers of the internet, because as it turns out, our cute main character girl is actually an old man. So next time you decide to meet your hot internet girlfriend for the first time, just beware. Beware. We also have an Isekai where a Discord mod turns into the average Apollo video enjoyer. You know how in most Isekai they just kind of forget that they came from another world, like the normal world, our world is just never mentioned again. I mean, why not make just a regular fantasy at that point, but yeah, anyway. Well, with this one it might be a bit different, since our main character can not only go back to the real world, but he also seems to keep his powers. Hence his transformation that would make even Gymshark suspicious. Another Isekai I watched has this girl's love thing going on. You know, the kind where it's usually very clearly hinted where the romantic direction of the story is meant to go, but they never fully commit, so they can always say, oh no, they are just friends. At least this one seems to really be Yuri, so they seem to commit with it. And yeah, it wasn't bad overall. A little bit too preachy and sweet for my taste, but it was okay. In another Isekai we have a main character that has been Isekai'd before, and then went back to the normal world, only to be Isekai'd again now. But this time he brings his classmates along, so who's the quiet kid now, huh? Anyway, apart from that, this one seems really generic, and yeah, let's just say that the harem tag doesn't exactly help to keep my hopes high. But I guess I will watch a few more episodes of it. Furthermore, we got Isekai about food, about farming, but enough of that. All of these are not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about Isekai titles, gotta love them. The reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world. Very snappy name, I know. Or how I will address it from now on is the exorcist Isekai. Because exorcist is like the only distinctive word in this title that doesn't sound like it was taken straight from an Isekai random word generator. Anyway, the plot is also pretty self-explanatory. There is an exorcist who gets killed by one of his subordinates, but only after he was able to use a reincarnation spell. So he gets reincarnated. You know, because that's what reincarnation spells are supposed to do. Because this is an Isekai. So he starts off being a kid again with all of his past memories, and you're gonna love this. So basically he is very overpowered. I know, right? However, he has as much magical powers as a bucket of sand. What he instead possesses are his exorcism powers from the world he came from. However, these powers are not available to the people in this world. The thing is, Seika, our main character, doesn't really want to be the strongest in this world. Because that's what he did in his last life, and that didn't really turn out too well for him. He would be more comfortable if he could just live beside the hero of this world. The hero being this legendary warrior that is, in the prophecies, meant to be the strongest person in this world. However, Seika is kind of an obstruction to the natural order of this world. Because A, he is super strong, and B, he doesn't actually belong here. Every enemy just gets obliterated immediately, and they don't even know it's coming for them, because Seika's powers are quite literally otherworldly, they can't even predict them. Seika's conflict is quite literally, with great power comes great responsibility. On the one hand, he knows he's supposed to keep a low profile, but on the other hand, there are also so many opportunities where using a little bit of his exorcism powers would just be very useful. Either to prove his dickhead brother wrong, for convenience sake, or because he wants to save someone. There's been a moment where precisely that happened, where Seika had to make the decision, hey, Should I just whip out my powers and save this person? Or am I doing more damage in the long run if I just go insano mode all the time? And again, we know that is actually quite valid reasoning by Seika, because in his last life he was exactly that. He was the strongest there ever was, but it also made him the biggest target, so it ultimately became his downfall. If anything of what I've just told you sounds even remotely interesting to you, then maybe you can imagine why I actually thought that the show plays off its concept really well. The big problem of the show is that it's sometimes just really generic and dumb isekai. But I kept watching it because it isn't always like that. For example, there is Seika's brother, who is just the disgustingly most annoying brat I've ever seen. But when we see him a few years later, he actually kind of matured. I wanted to mention that because I feel it would have been much easier to just give him a typical revenge plot. Because Seika is also kind of the one who took away his opportunity to study at a prestigious school. Originally, Seika's brother is the one who's supposed to become a mage, but Seika kind of cheats with his exorcism powers. But yeah, no, it seems like he doesn't really care anymore. It seems like he's a soldier now and seems cool with it. The most annoying part about the show is that every female character wants a piece of Seika in one way or another. And it's just really generic and dumb. The supposed hero in this world, for example, is a tsundere that strips down like 5 minutes after she first sees Seika. Oh yeah, of course, Seika has to search her body for any potential curses. Of course. Then there is this girl who is clearly in love with our main character, even though he keeps insisting that she is like family to her. I mean, I could make an Alabama joke, but I will just let you mentally insert it right here. And yeah, basically she knocks on his door in the middle of the night and proceeds to sleep in his bed afterwards, and yeah, just normal family things, right? And then there is also Seika's servant from his last life, which is also, I mean... Oh my god! Also, I don't want to be the one who brings up the Mushoku Tensei discussion, but these girls are like 14. Seika was an old motherfucker in his last life, so so far nothing bad has happened yet, but I'm just wondering why include it in the first place. This was also one of the reasons why I thought I would hate the show at first. I mean, the plot, the characters, the art, everything just seems rather generic. But the more I'm watching it, I actually kind of started to dig it. Is my brain just rotting away at this point? Am I developing some kind of Stockholm syndrome towards isekai? Or is this show maybe not as bad as I thought it would be? I don't know. Bottom line is, I hope this gets a second season. It probably won't. And if it does, there's still a very high chance that it will just crash and burn. But yeah, you know what? I kinda liked it. Also, the opening is fire. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
You naughty naughty, you teasing me, you naughty naughty.